Welcome back to Around the Block Volleyball. U.S. volleyball leagues came to an end this weekend with insane playoff tournaments from the PVF and the NCAA men's. Let's get right into it, starting with the PVF. So, PVF finals this weekend in Las Vegas. Pretty cool. Pretty cool to have it in Vegas in general. Sucks that Vegas wasn't part of the tournament.
Yeah.
But
the venue looked awesome, though. Yeah. The arena looked amazing. I'm sure it was hosted very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was always the appeal of PVF, was just like the arena atmosphere and stuff was always really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just looked nice. Like the crowd was there. They showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's in Vegas, so it's a nice place for anyone to be. But let's start off with the semifinals on Friday. We first had the number 4 India Ignite beating the number 1 Omaha Supernovas 3-2. So big 5-setter, but India Ignite, a little bit of the underdog, came out on top.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it, but Nina Kajic was just amazing. I feel like she kind of showed that in her college career, also just being new to pro as well. And she showed up. She's been amazing. And I think that was a big reason why Indy was so good, was the depth of that team because of the injuries that they've had. And they were still able to stay afloat and still be really competitive. It was pretty amazing.
Yep. And talking about Kajic, she had 21 kills, 34.7% efficiency, 4 blocks, 9 digs, and she played pretty good serve receive, so she was our player of the game. Absolutely deserving. Of note, at least for the Ignite, maybe Azani Taylor didn't have like her greatest game, especially with what you've been expecting throughout the season where she's been their go-to player. Didn't necessarily produce like that, and we'll kind of see it moving forward as well.
And then I guess just to wrap up for Omaha, I feel like they had a very good season. Obviously, it didn't end the way that they wanted to, being the number 1 seed and then still falling in the semifinal.
Yeah. That's
definitely rough, but Brooke Nonaviller really showed why she was deserving of being outside of the year. Like, she was really, really good. Mm-hmm. And then I guess you can't really think about next year because of the whole thing that's going on with MLB. But
I guess we'll talk about that more in some future episode, but this is the end of the Supernovas in the PVF. So
very good team, ran into a red-hot Indy Ignite.
Yeah. It's also going to be interesting seeing like what happens with the players from this team, because like I don't know who's going to stay in the PVF, who's moving to the MLB. It could go for other teams too, but I guess the Supernovas being the team that's moving and the one that we're about to say goodbye to, a little weird. Not sure how it's going to work, but we'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll have to keep tabs on that.
Yeah, a lot of good players, especially good college players that we want to keep tabs on. So we'll figure it out. But we can move on to the next game, where it was the number 2 Atlanta Vibe falling to the number 3 Orlando Valkyries 3-1.
Double upsets. It was pretty crazy, but we kind of talked about it. We've been saying it the whole time. Brittany Abercrombie has been that good.
Yep.
We predicted it. She did end up winning MVP.
Yep.
Which was very well deserving. And it made sense. This was just another one of her masterclass games. She was lights out, unstoppable. And on the flip side, I thought Micaiah White had a very good game. But then Leah Edmond had a good game, but it wasn't maybe what you were hoping for from the former MVP to maybe try and battle against Brittany Abercrombie. Yeah. But definitely a pretty crazy game that there's double upsets here.
Yeah, especially because in our predictions, we picked the Supernovas and the Vibe to move on to the finals, and we got both of those wrong.
Yeah.
So that's tough. Atlanta Vibe, we can talk about them a little bit. Actually, let's talk about the player of the game. Like we said, Brittany Abercrombie, she had 22 kills on 29.5% efficiency, 2 blocks, and 13 digs. Efficiency wasn't the highest that we've seen from her, but that's probably because she is kind of like the garbage can where anything's going wrong in the play, it's going to Brittany Abercrombie, and she actually puts away the ball a lot on these random plays where things are not going well. So, outstanding performance from her. But yeah, now we can talk about the Atlanta Vibe. It's the end of their season as well. They are staying in the league, but it was I guess not really up and down. It was more like a down then up season.
Yeah, it was a lot of turmoil for them, I feel like. just within this one season, obviously, just because, I mean, last year they were amazing. But this is very interesting seeing Leah Edmond kind of go through some growing pains, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the best way to put it. Obviously, Morgan Hentz was still locking it down in the back row.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you're Atlanta, maybe you kind of look back at the drawing board on how you can build on a season where obviously they ended up being the 2 seed and they had a really good season. But, I don't know. There were a lot of times where it felt like their success was like kind of in question, I feel like.
I mean, it showed up in these semifinals where they did lose. I mean, obviously they lost to the eventual champions, but I don't know. You wanted to be competitive. You wanted to make it to the finals. They probably wanted the 1 seed as well in the regular season. We'll see where they move from here. I know the PVF has some like re-signing, some multi-year contracts, but it feels like there's a lot of free agency type things. It's something that I guess we're figuring out as the years go on. It's only the second year.
Yeah.
Let's just move on to the big game, the finals. It was on Sunday, on Mother's Day. It was the Orlando Valkyries versus the India Ignite. The Valkyries came out on top 3-1. Pretty crazy game. Brittany Abercrombie went off again. I think Shampoo might have won their player of the game or MVP of the championship type thing. Yeah, Shampoo won that award, but we still want to highlight Brittany Abercrombie. She had 27 kills, 38.7% efficiency, 3 blocks, and 8 digs. So she was playing defense too.
Yeah.
Crazy game from her.
Yeah, and for Shampoo, she got 37 assists, so that's just showing it. I mean, she really has been right there, I feel like, as one of the better setters in the league, for sure, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been screaming Sydney Hilly's name as the best setter. We still stand by that.
Yeah.
But Shampoo, I mean, she's been really, really good. Obviously, it helps when you have a hitter like Brittany Abercrombie on the right side.
Shampoo's still finding a way to, especially with a lot of these like off balls, like she's still finding a way to set pretty perfect balls to Brittany Abercrombie, like bump sets, just running set, like hand sets. She's doing it all. Very well deserved from her as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the Valkyries, I think in general, everyone played well for the Valkyries. You got everything you wanted, I think, especially from the middles.
They've been so solid
the
whole season. They've been so solid. I feel like, I mean, we rank them up there as like the best middle duo pretty much as well too. So, I mean, it helps when you have such a well-rounded team like that, that, you know, you're able to just find a way to win. Yeah,
I think generally this game, from what I saw or what I understood, the middles and I guess even the pins, the blocking was crazy from everyone.
Yeah. I feel like there's just like their system on whatever their blocking is, like they knew what Indy was going to do and they really were on it and they were able to shut them down on pretty much whatever they were running pretty much. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think that might have been one of the biggest struggles for Indy is that they were getting blocked. They had to play a little bit safer. Even just block touches, they were getting block touched a lot. Rallies were extended. Indy Ignite couldn't kill the ball.
Yeah, that was really the main problem for Indy. I feel like, you know, passing was okay. That was fine. It was really just trying to find a way through their defense.
Yeah, I think not to necessarily place any blame, but when it comes to being in the finals, you need your star hitters. You need Azani Teeler. You need Anna DeBeer also. You wanted them to really show up, show out, and they weren't able to this game, which I think is more just speaking to the Valkyries' defense and blocking rather than them. But I guess as they move on in their careers, you want them to figure out how to get through this adversity and figure out how to get the kills. But still young players, nothing.
Yeah, it's still really crazy to think that, and this isn't to take away from Orlando, but that Indy was right there. And then they didn't have like a tour member Monet like at all. Like she hasn't played in forever because she's hurt. And then Anna DeBeer came back from an injury. She wasn't really playing that much before this.
Yeah.
She came back and she was playing. There was just a lot of things that were going on, and they still somehow made it work. They found ways to win, which is...
They're a very young team as well. So
yeah.
A lot of first-year type players or first-year pro players in this team, and they're the expansion team.
Yeah.
So this is actually a very, very good... I mean, they didn't win, obviously.
Yeah.
You hate, like... Obviously, they don't want to be told, oh, yeah, you guys did amazing when you're that close to victory, but they did amazing for what was expected out of the expansion team season.
Yeah, I feel like if you're them, you really feel good about just building on top of this. I feel... Yeah, it sucks that you didn't win, but it's kind of hard to expect that you're going to win from just that first season. And you are the new team. They were kind of like the underdog the whole time, knowing that they were that expansion team. And yeah, I mean, I feel like you really just look forward from this and you want to just build on top of it, because it feels really good that, you know, you had that big injury to one of your best players and you still found a way to get all the way to the finals here.
Yeah, and just with all these players still being so young, they're going to have a future. Still not really sure how the PVF contracts are.
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, so if we see this team mostly return, they'll be very scary next year.
For sure.
But yeah, any last words on the PVF finals?
I think it was an amazing story that Orlando were able to win the championship. I feel like, you know, that shows the depth of the teams in the PVF, that the worst team from last year, I think the record was like 8-16 last year. And then they come back, you know, they were the 3 seed, but they were the 1 seed for a good half of the season, pretty much.
Yeah, they had the longest win streak in the league with 8 or 9, maybe even 10.
Yeah, like they were right there. I think they kind of fell off after the All-Star.
Yeah.
After the All-Star break there. And I feel like this is just an amazing story for PVF that they were able to pull this off in such quick turnaround in 1 year. And I mean, that's the MVP. MVP wins the whole thing, you know?
Yep. And it is also showing there's somewhat parity in this league. I mean, that means next year you never know who amongst the teams that didn't make the playoffs, one of them may make the jump.
Yeah.
So that could also be cool. We'll probably see another expansion team to round out the league at 8 next year.
Right, yeah.
So that could also be a very good team. So there's a lot happening, and it's very hype.
Yeah, and that was definitely the biggest thing. I feel like the energy in the arenas were always really good. I feel like that was definitely the biggest sell for PVF. Because I feel like that's part of like the viewer experience. At least that's what we look for.
No, for sure. I think
like it
adds
helps a lot with the energy of the crowd and stuff. So that definitely is important. And I think they were doing that pretty much most of these games.
Yep.
And it's like the biggest shout out to Indy Ignite being that new expansion team. And then they were the ones that were not selling out all the time, but they had a big crowd in their arena
every single
time.
game that they hosted this season. They had massive crowds turning out for every single game. That is what you love to see from volleyball leagues. That's what's going to help volleyball sustain itself in the U.S. So,
yeah.
The PVF, all things considered, very successful.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing was like Caitlin Clark showing up to Indy Ignite games.
Pretty sick.
Pat McAfee was talking about it. He's like pretty much the huge part of ESPN right now. And like him talking about it is just insane. Hopefully pro volleyball in the US is just still on the up here.
Yep. So we'll probably continue to touch on some things about the PVF in future episodes, but that'll wrap it up for now.
Yep, that's the end of their season. So
Yep. So now let's move on to the NCAA Men's Championship. It was pretty hype. And starting off, I think we've already said our piece last week about number of teams. There's only 8 here.
Yeah.
We wish there was more. Yeah, we said our piece on that. Let's start off on Thursday with the quarterfinals. First off, we had number 6 Belmont Abbey versus number 3 UCLA. UCLA took care of business. They won 3-0. Player of the game, we had Cooper Robinson. He went 11 kills on 52.9% efficiency. He had an ace. He had a solo block. He had 5 block assists. They shut Belmont Abbey down pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't mess around at all.
Yeah.
They made sure that they just took care of business there.
Yeah, I think we've talked about UCLA. Maybe sometimes they get like a little bit more lackadaisical. They didn't. They took care of business.
And this was like a good setting the tone for them, at least for that first game.
Yeah, this was definitely good momentum for them moving forward. And Belmont Abbey, I mean, great season for them. They won their conference. Good job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, what can you ask for? You ended up just going against one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, the
That's what it is right
defending champions.
Yeah.
So that is a tough matchup. Now we can move on to the next game of quarterfinals. We had a more interesting game. We had number 7 Penn State going up against number 2 Hawaii, and Penn State lost 3-1, but they were really, really close to taking it even further. It was crazy, and our player of the game for Hawaii, we had Finn Kearney, who had 16 kills on just 12.5% efficiency, which isn't great, but he had 4 aces, 10 digs, and 3 block assists as well. And the low efficiency, it happens, but it was mostly from a lot of errors, and it's still okay because he was the go-to guy. He got them kills when it mattered, and yeah, he was just getting most of the garbage balls. He had the most attempts on the team by a lot.
Yeah.
So,
and it still is so amazing that it's just another freshman that took part of Tetrisky's spot, and then
2 freshmen.
And he just shows up, and he's still just like the best offensive player in this game. I feel like that's just crazy. I honestly thought that this was like a good thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe a part of it was like Penn State, the fact that it was so close.
Yeah.
Maybe that kind of hints on what was going to happen later on. But I kind of thought, if Finn Kearney is going to keep going, then you would expect that Hawaii is going to have a pretty good run at this thing when, that super sub pretty much is what he's become.
Yep.
And he's still showing up like that big. I feel like that was a good indicator for Hawaii, but we'll get to it though.
Yeah. And for Penn State, kind of heartbreaking. I mean, they were in the first set. They were up to begin with. I think they started off a 6-0 run and eventually got to 11-3. And then they started just throwing away the set on random points, and they lost that first set, which is tough.
Yeah, I mean, that was just Hawaii's resolve and like concentration about still winning a set when you're down that badly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane. But then, Penn State was still fighting the whole time. I mean, they were close in other sets too, so it was a very hard-fought game there.
Yeah. Matthew Loma put up a great game himself. It just wasn't enough to take down Hawaii. Hawaii's top-tier team, so
yeah,
it is what it is. But let's move on to the next game. Another one that's a little faster. We had number 8, Fort Valley State, going 0-3 versus the number 1 seed, Long Beach. Yeah, kind of what you expected. Play of the game, Moni, shocking.
Yeah.
He had 31 assists. He had the team hitting at 36.7% efficiency. He had 8 kills of his own, 3 aces, and 8 digs. So he kind of ensured that they were going to win the game, and he kind of clip farmed a little bit.
Yeah, he's just having fun.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's just having fun playing the game.
Long Beach as a whole warmed up with this game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, this still just... I know we already said our whole thing last week, but this still just bothers me that, and this isn't against Fort Valley State or Belmont Abbey or Penn State or Damon either, because they all made it in the tournament, and it's deservingly so. I mean, they win their conferences. But it's just so amazing to me that there's still 2 teams that just did not play at all, and they were considered top 5 pretty much the whole season. Yeah. I just feel like that would just have made the tournament just that much more exciting.
Yeah, more dramatic for sure.
Yeah, just throwing in these other teams, and then it makes the tournament, a little bit more difficult for these top teams, where even in previous years, way back then, teams would do the winner goes on type of thing before. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then there was seasons way earlier in 2016 or whatever. It was 6 teams only.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's better than what it used to be, but
still not great.
Yeah, just keep vying for more teams to get in. I feel like
somewhat we're still on the up. I mean, when you're missing USC, you're missing UCI, CSUN even, GCU, a lot of great teams. Yeah, we could have had maybe a closer game here, but
and then just more exciting for the game. Yeah. But Long Beach, of course, they took care of business there.
Yeah, they're also a great team, so surprise.
Yeah.
Let's just move straight on to the most exciting, I would say, game of the quarterfinals. We had number 5 Pepperdine versus number 4 Loyola Chicago, where Pepperdine came out on top, 3-1.
Hey, this is what we were talking about when we were talking about who we were taking. You took Loyola. I ended up taking Pepperdine. And, I mean, Loyola was right there, though. But, man, Pepperdine, I feel like that really showed it in that MPSF playoff run that they made to win that conference. They really showed that they were, a really quality team. I mean, Ryan Barnett, again, has just been amazing.
Monster.
And, Cole Harkey has still been a really good freshman for them.
Great game for him as well.
I just feel like it was too much for Parker Van Buren and the rest of Loyola Chicago.
I think at some point they kind of knew like, oh, like they're gonna try and feed him. Loyola Chicago's like, oh no, we won't. And they started stepping away from him a little bit more. And I remember getting frustrated a little bit. I was like, I know they know where the ball is going, but please set Parker Van Buren a little bit more.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they were trying. Like it felt like it was a little bit too much of trying to spread the ball around.
Yeah.
That even he got the ball, it was like he didn't feel like he had it didn't look like he had a rhythm anymore.
Yeah.
And then it just made the game just seem a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I think at some point they kind of like started forcing the middle a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, at some point you gotta just trust in your best player, let him carry you forward, and they didn't do that, which I wish they did because I was a Loyola Chicago fan all season, but Pepperdine definitely deserved this win. I think Pepperdine's energy just overwhelmed Loyola.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they set the tone and set the pace, and Loyola kind of got caught up in that, and I think that's why the distribution kind of got a little weird, and they just felt like they had to try something, while Pepperdine
Poised the whole way.
It was gross. Our player of the game, Ryan Barnett, he had 17 kills on 29.7% efficiency. He had 1 ace. He had 5 block assists. He had 5 digs. Great game from him. Cole Hartke also had a great game. Ilya Haver, I think he had a good game as well, but just especially him, he's like the true energy, like heart of the team. He, no matter what happens in the play, when they score, he's going out screaming, hyping up the team. It's super cool, super hype. I think he really gave them the momentum and just the aura to take down Loyola.
And honestly, I feel like unsung hero, but like Jacob Riley was stepping up. I feel like there was definitely a difference between how he played and, just libero difference. Like I feel like like Jacob Riley really showed up, and like he was so solid in the back row. I feel like that was a big difference maker to me.
Yeah, definitely kind of set the defensive level standard even much higher than Loyola could deal with. So, yeah, Loyola just got beaten in a lot of positions, I guess.
Still had an amazing season, though. Still a really good season for Loyola.
Yep. Still, we'll look forward to what they can do moving forward, but I think, Parker Van Buren was a senior, right?
Is he?
Or redshirt junior or something like that?
I think he might have another year.
I think, but when it's like a redshirt junior, I feel like with those things, that's when like people like transfer the most for their grad school, whatever seasons.
True.
So I don't know what's going to happen. I'd love if he came back, but we'll kind of see moving forward.
Oh, no, redshirt senior. I guess that's it for him.
Oh, he was a redshirt senior. All right, well, we'll see what Loyola Chicago can bring next year. They lost their star player. But let's move on to the semifinals. Happened on Saturday. First match, we had Pepperdine versus Long Beach. Long Beach won 3-1. Pepperdine was able to take a set, but Long Beach was Long Beach and just locked in, won the game.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like Long Beach was showing that even with all the roster moves and like lineup changes that they've had to make throughout the season, like their guys have shown up when it matters most.
Yep.
Even when it's, that they were not considered the starter coming into the season. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just amazing what they were able to do.
Yeah, they made a lot of roster adjustments throughout the season. Our player of the game was Alex Kondev, who...
Freshman. Was not expected to start because Sotos obviously was coming off of a really good season. Mm-hmm. You thought that he was going to be able to build on that. But then he got hurt, and then they started trying to figure out what they're going to do. Alex Kondev stepped in, and he's been... not just as solid as Skylar Varga, but he's been big time for them for sure.
The Bulgarian connection was there. So,
man.
Yeah. He was our player of the game. 19 kills, 53.3% efficiency. Nasty. 8 digs, playing great defense, and he had 1 block assist to go along with it. That's just a disgusting game. Long Beach it was close, but I think down the stretch of each set that they ended up winning, Long Beach kind of locked in and was like, let's just win this set.
Yeah, I think that was the poise of Long Beach. I feel like they knew how to win those types of games, and they kind of showed that type of experience, even though they're kind of the head of their team is Moni, and he's
They have a lot of young
he's like
players.
18
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But then you still have Skylar Varga, just the amount of, how do you put it, like veteran presence, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like that just
Leadership.
helps a lot. Yeah, the
Yeah.
leadership, and obviously Alan Knight. I feel like that just helps.
Yeah.
Show that they're just poised in the moment, and yeah, they were able to win close sets and kind of take home the win.
Yeah.
Even with Pepperdine taking that first set.
Yeah. I mean, Pepperdine, all credit to them. They played amazing, but I mean, Long Beach is Long Beach, and even more credit to Pepperdine. Actually, they took the only set off of Long Beach during this tournament. So
Yes.
hats off to them. They did play very well. In another seeding, maybe they even would have made it to the finals.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows with the way that things went? Because we saw what happened when Pepperdine played against UCLA. We already saw that happen 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Not to say like UCLA wasn't about it, but Pepperdine did show that they could beat them. So, yeah, I mean, it could just be how the seeding worked out. It could have been a little different here and there, but
yeah, Pepperdine,
Crazy.
great season from them. They
win their conference.
Yeah.
Take down USC, UCLA. That was huge. Got them the 5 seed. Like, that was huge. That was awesome for them that they were able to get that 5 seed. But, man, I mean, you run into Long Beach.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Long Beach was the
tough.
unstoppable force. So let's move on to the next game. I mean, yeah, we can't say enough praises for Long Beach anyways. But next game, we had UCLA versus Hawaii. UCLA 3-0'd. It was kind of gross. Our player of the game was Andrew Rowan. He had 34 assists in 3 sets. The team's efficiency was 37%. He had 1 kill of his own and 2 aces. And I think this was the setting masterclass if you're looking at just a pure setter from probably the entire tournament. Because this is one of the highest skill matchups we had. Hawaii is a good blocking team still.
Yeah.
They have a lot of large players who get to their blocking spots, but Andrew Rowan had them on skates. I mean, God.
I mean, the amount of one-on-ones that they were getting was just absurd.
He was getting them no blocks, too.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Andrew Rowan went crazy this game.
Yeah, and then, right, like the whole Sean Kelly coming in, play outside, Zach Rama move over, and then you still have Cooper Robinson, just so steady, has been so good for them the whole season. And it's just insane that, like, Hawaii, they looked so flustered with how UCLA was playing.
Yeah.
I mean, there were definitely moments in the game where it, like, just didn't feel like Hawaii had it that night. It was just not their night.
Yeah.
Like, there was that whole thing, it was like a tip. It kind of got past Kurt Nooster, and then it just dropped on the ground.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of moments where just the ball was not going their way. Like, you can't even really control that type of play. And it just wasn't going their way. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah.
That's just so tough to fight back.
Yeah, I think, again, with kind of talking about like how pacing sort of works things, like UCLA came out swinging right away, and I feel like Hawaii was never able to fully adjust. They kind of looked a little bit more flustered. They weren't able to make, especially blocking adjustments. They were getting beat out there a lot. It looked like they got, even from the head coach standpoint and the player standpoint, got a little bit frustrated. Throughout the 3 sets, Hawaii was subbing in so many players.
I think Charlie Wade kind of just figured that he has to just try something.
Yeah.
But then we kind of heard about it later on that Louis Sakanoko was injured.
Yeah.
I didn't really know about that, so I was like wondering, why is he not playing? Okay, yeah, you want to try stuff out. Why don't you just put him back in the game? Because whatever you're doing, it wasn't working. So give one of your starters, one of your big players, give him a chance to, find something, try and get a rhythm back. But then after hearing he was hurt, I was like, man, I mean, I don't really know what you're supposed to do at that point.
Yeah, they put him back in at the end, but I don't he was obviously still hurt. Not much you can do when you're injured.
I feel like Adrian Rohr really tried his best. I mean, defensively, he was doing everything he could.
I feel like he was the player who showed up the most for Hawaii.
For sure. And it's hard to ask of maybe like a Leo Choi, just because you're the libero, you can't score points.
There were a few times where he had some like really good ups,
He did.
Then I mean Hawaii was just still outclassed, so it didn't matter.
There was a lot of misconnections from the middle. I feel like that was definitely a problem for Hawaii there.
Yeah.
But how about, everyone was talking about it. Why don't we talk about it too? Let's talk about the tea that happened, the smack talk that was going on across the net at the end of the game there.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, I don't really know what happened, what started it off fully, but definitely it ended, that when the game ended, Cooper Robinson had some words for the Hawaii team.
Yeah, he was chirping a little bit.
Yeah,
chirping a little bit
and
at the end
then
there.
Finn Kearney did not like that. He started chirping back. We could read his lips on the broadcast. It was well documented.
I think Cooper was talking to Louis, I assume. But yeah, I mean, Cooper's going to do his thing. Yeah. I mean, he won, and I'm kind of along the same school of thought of I'm actually for it. I feel like you're also with this. We're for the trash talking. Yeah. Because also, a lot of these guys know each other already.
Yeah. They've been playing against each other for years.
I mean, let's be real. I don't even know if any of that stuff was, really serious.
Yeah. It's
kind of just in the heat of the moment. I feel like that's how it is. I don't think there's, ill will. But, Finn Kearney was not about that. But then Tread was hey, man, it's fine. He was, holding them back, kind of. It was crazy.
But...
And then even, Andrew Rowan kind of got into it, and then... I think some of the coaches were just standing in between him and the net. I was
it's getting a little nasty.
I was dang, the trash talking happened, and this is after the game. The game was already over.
Yeah,
it was 3-0. The game was over.
I think Cooper Robinson got a red card, and I was talking that it'd be really funny if the red card forced them to start off the next game down 0-1, lose a point for it.
Yeah, that was funny.
They didn't do it, but yeah,
that would have been crazy.
It was a lot of chirping at the end of that game, and I mean, like Mike said, I enjoy it. I think it kind of brings a little bit of rivalry to the sport, and that's kind of what you want. I mean, these are already two esteemed programs who, just by nature of being at the top of men's volleyball, will have a little bit of a rivalry, but I think when things get a little bit chirpy, you can feel the emotion on the court. I think that's pretty fun.
And I think it brings out the best in the players, and Cooper Robinson obviously backed it up, and then it just wasn't really Hawaii's night. So sometimes you kind of just have to eat that.
Yeah.
There's not really much you can do, but yeah, I mean, it was a really good game. Obviously, this was the better semifinal game, I would say, just because of even though it was a 3-0, I thought it was
the plays that were being made.
It was so amazing that UCLA really just shut out Hawaii there.
Yeah, I mean, UCLA, it was one of the best games of the tournament just to watch. It was disgusting.
Yeah, made me really believe that your call of maybe them three-peating, and I mentioned it too, could they actually do it?
Yeah.
Because they looked really, really good.
Yeah.
And everyone knows about the back and forth between Long Beach and UCLA, who's number one, who's number two, when they were playing head-to-head and stuff like that, but that was the finals.
Yep.
That was the big game on Monday, and... wow, it delivered. It delivered for sure.
Yeah, let's move on right away to that game. I'm sure you guys already know. It was a 3-0. Long Beach shut UCLA out, but I don't think it was... Obviously, there were some deficiencies in UCLA's play, but Long Beach was just overwhelming. They were playing nasty. They were out of their minds.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. I feel like Nato Dickinson has been just awesome for them since Hershnovich has been out. It's crazy. I mean, this guy's in a pool. I don't even know.
He was celebrating, hopping on one.
Yeah, I don't even really know what happened. But
yeah,
because that was just part of it, that it's hard to follow the injuries. But Nato Dickinson has been so solid. Alex Kondev obviously is the other guy that has been inserted in the lineup. And what is that guy? What is the middle's name? I know it's Pruitt, the other middle.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a freshman
also
too.
a freshman.
I mean, he actually has been really good for them too. Obviously, he closed out the finals for them.
Yeah.
So
and he did so getting set. He was getting blocks.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a player in the game. He was a major player in the game.
Yeah. He was making his impact, and Moni is.
Yeah.
What can you say about this guy? I mean, we talked about it. National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Makes sense, but man, I mean, the things that this guy was doing against the other team in the finals, the other team in the nation that has been touted as the best.
Yeah.
Back-to-back champs, and then Moni was just cooking up.
I mean, let's just talk about the set 2 back-to-back aces. That was my favorite moment of the entire tournament.
Well, wasn't it back-to-back, right? He got 3? I think it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, he got
3. I think it's 3.
Yeah. He got the aces, and it was crazy. He got 1 ace, timeout.
They were down. They were down, right?
Yeah.
They were down.
They were down 1, 18 to 19. He goes up. He gets an ace. UCLA goes, oh shoot, we're tied now. Let's call a timeout.
Stop it early. Stop the momentum before you even can start.
Moni comes out. He gets another ace. UCLA goes, oh shoot, now we're down. Let's call the timeout again. Let's really just stop him here. And then, Long Beach continues to go on a roll. They win the set, and it was just GG's from there.
I mean, this was like serving masterclass. Is like the best way I can put it, honestly. Was like it was so perfect that you absolutely bomb the first 2 serves. There's timeouts and whatever. After that second timeout, this man just cuts the ball, and then no one in the gym was ready for that.
Nah, ankles.
Once he cut that ball, it was like, wow, okay. I mean, they're so for real. They're gonna win this second set, and then they were 2-0. They were up 2-0 there, and then 3-0.
Yeah, they carried that momentum on forward. To UCLA's credit, they never gave up. They never for a moment did it look like, they were like, we're going to roll over and just let this loss come. They were still fighting. They were still trying to figure things out. It's just Long Beach didn't stop their own momentum and just overwhelmed UCLA.
Yeah, it was such a great overall game from Long Beach. I mean, all the pins are doing well. The middles were still providing a lot. Darius obviously has been there the whole season. And then Kellen Larson has just been so solid in the back row for them. I feel like there were just not a lot of moments where the back row felt like there was like inconsistencies or something like that, where he was just there, and I feel like it's good when you don't really notice the libero.
Yeah.
Because that means that he's just doing his job, right?
Yep.
Passes are good. I'm pretty sure like he pretty much like perfect pass pretty much everything, I felt like.
Yeah.
Like there was no problem with that. And then Moni's able to just set the ball to whoever he wants.
Yeah.
Getting like one-on-ones, everything. He's able to attack the ball. It was crazy.
It was nasty game. Moni, player of the game, obviously. 27 assists. The team was hitting at 35.4% efficiency.
Which wasn't even really that good, right?
Yeah, not
like
that
their
good,
first set, was it the first set that they didn't really hit that well?
I forget. No, it might have been the second.
I don't know, but like,
yeah,
there was a set where I feel like they didn't hit great,
yeah,
but they still ended up winning. So
yeah, he had 6 kills. He had those 4 aces. He had his 2 block assists. It was a great game from Moni, and he just shut UCLA out. And now maybe we can talk a little bit about UCLA. They were the losers of the game, and I don't want to like place blame necessarily on anyone, but definitely going from Andrew Rowan's masterclass the round before to this game, it was a little bit jarring because it looked like, he was having a couple misconnections.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to get the one-on-ones or the no blocks that he was able to get against Hawaii. I don't know if that's just saying something about Long Beach or Hawaii, but Long Beach was even reading what he was doing.
Yeah, it really looked like they were prepared for whatever whatever UCLA was looking to do. And I mean, that's kind of like the mental game of the setter. And for Andrew Rowan, like that was such a tough spot to figure out, like, do I just go to my main guys, or how can I get the other guys involved? There were like inklings of here and there, but I honestly think there wasn't like enough middle presence. Obviously, it's kind of hard to set the middle a lot, but obviously those like misconnections definitely hurt. Where
I think that
it happened to both Sean and Cam Thorne, where
it was just low.
Yeah, and those guys their reach is insane.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of hard to set people that high, but I mean, because Cam Thorne had some really good kills. I feel like those were kind of helping open up the net. Yeah. To the pins, but
the misconnections at the certain points was not great, and even Zach Rahm had a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was the other tougher game. He had, I feel like when you look at his numbers, it was not terrible because he had 8 kills. It was on like 22 swings, But I think it also was like 5 errors. I
Yeah,
think that was
just
also
watching
something
it,
that
was
came with it.
tough, but it could have been some, like, again, misconnection. There were definitely some that were really tight, and we just watched Zach Rama lose the joust,
Yeah.
get shut down, and what are you going to do?
Yeah, and it's a lot to ask for Sean Kelly as well as a freshman. Because I feel like they were kind of going at him
Yeah.
on serve receive for sure. And I mean, that's really tough to call on your freshman outside that has been really solid for you. But, in the big time games, that's where, that's what makes Cooper Robinson so good. Where, maybe Sean Kelly wasn't fully there yet for the moment.
But
It's only a freshman though, so
yeah, I mean,
definitely looking up for
UCLA
him.
will be back a lot stronger next year.
Yeah.
They have basically the entire
it's
roster
kind of crazy
returning.
that they're still returning.
Yeah, because even Cooper Robinson, I think he's a redshirt junior.
Yeah, I think
So-
a lot of these guys still have at least one more year.
Yeah, and like, who really leaves the top team when you're that guy?
I don't
So,
think they will.
Yeah, it's just going to be a full UCLA roster coming back. We'll see them much stronger next year. We'll see what happens with Long Beach, because obviously the up in the air thing is Moni returning or not.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? I mean, that's gonna be so interesting.
Yeah, but even then, whether or not he comes back, maybe we'll still see this matchup next year. Long Beach, obviously, great program.
Yeah, and their team right now is amazing, and they're so young still. Where, man, they could just come back and do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is contingent on if Moni comes back, but it'd be really interesting if Moni doesn't. What's gonna happen to that setter position?
Yeah, I mean, they might still get an amazing setter, so it's hard to tell. Obviously, no one can fully replace Moni, but
Yeah.
the rest of the team is still very good, and Long Beach also returning, so maybe we'll get this matchup next year. So, yeah, anything else to say for the NCAA besides congratulations to Long Beach winning the championship? Absolutely deserving. It was super cool watching them all celebrate. Moni was crying his tears of joy.
Oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And it like makes you forget how young he really is. And we kind of talked about it when we were watching the game, but like the amount of pressure that he was under was so immense. And the fact that he just played the game and he was just having fun. He was when they did lose, which wasn't often, they bounced back. He was fired up. I feel like he had just an amazing season. I feel like it was so well deserving that he ended up getting National Player of the Year. They ended up winning the championship. And I think I saw like on the interview, someone asked, it might have been JTM Volleyball, where he asked Moni, is that now that you have this one up on your brother? And he was like, no, like this is why I love him even more. Like he was able to help me through this, and this is why I came here. And like he was just giving praise to his teammates. It was just all amazing.
Humble man.
Yeah. So, if he returns or not, we'll see. But, very well deserving for him.
Yeah. Great season. I mean, we're going to be following his career for years to come.
Yeah. And man, again, this just makes the NCAA for men's volleyball just look that much better with how good these teams were. And it's been like that for a while, obviously, but like, bringing on a guy like that, and then they end up winning the whole thing, and there's still really good teams out there. It really makes me think that hopefully men's volleyball is still on the up.
I mean, this was the explosive growth season, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, this is the season where we've gotten the most growth. Hopefully it's exponential. Hopefully the men's team or men's game keeps growing.
Yeah, and we have great people covering, like other content creators are covering
Yep.
men's volleyball, and I feel like that's just helping grow the sport even more. So, fingers crossed it keeps getting better. Hopefully we can get 16 teams soon. Hopefully.
Yeah. Maybe even next year. I don't know.
Come on.
Maybe we'll start with 12, but
Yeah, do something,
Yeah.
please.
yeah. Hopefully it's still on the up.
Yeah.
Amazing season overall from NCAA. Clipped farm to hell from every single team, honestly.
Oh yeah.
So
Hey, shout out Josh Nekaba Visuals. He's been so big for that.
he's
for
going
the growth
to
of
going
men's
to every
volleyball.
school doing
Yeah.
everything for them.
Hey, we saw him on we saw him in the background too at the championship. So
Yeah. So
big things from NCAA men's volleyball.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
we'll continue watching the growth, and that's it for our men's volleyball talk, and let's move on to the rally round. Welcome to the rally round, where we play our drafts, blind rankings, and other games. This week, we're starting off with another draft. USA Volleyball just announced the VNL roster for the women's, so we're gonna draft teams using the announced roster, which is like, I don't know, like 30-something people.
It's very interesting with the roster. I feel like there are a lot of names that probably most people don't really recognize, but because I mean they left off a lot of like the Olympic players.
Yeah.
There are a couple on here still, but very interesting. I mean, I'm sure the roster's still going to end up really good.
Yeah, people who are tapped into mostly national team probably are looking at this team being like, where's everyone at?
Yeah. But if you remember, a lot of these names were big time in college, so.
Let's draft teams using the USA VNL women's roster. I have the first pick.
Because last time I took Moni, probably. I don't
Yeah.
I don't remember what
No,
I got.
no.
That's honorable mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, I took Trent. I took Trent Moser.
There's no way you took Moni.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, player of the year. But anyways, I'm going to draft my team trying to be as fun as possible. Who I want to see on the team, not necessarily who I think will be the best team out there.
This sounds like you're gonna say something wild.
Yeah. So for my first pick, I'm taking Maddie Skinner.
Damn. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I also thought about taking her first.
I'm going off of like she might not be like fully ready for international, but I think it'd be fun to see her play. I need to see it.
I mean, if you just put her on right side, I think she's down. I think she's ready.
We'll see, because we haven't necessarily seen the competition. We've only seen
guess.
League One and
But she looked
college.
damn good in League One, though.
Now she'll be up against
And a lot of those
best
women
teams in the world.
A lot of those women were playing
Yeah.
internationally before. Okay, so this is tough for me then, because all right, let's just say this, because I'm also gonna go by this reasoning. I kind of don't want Jordan Poulter to play, and you also said that.
Yeah.
We kind of don't really want her to play. I just feel like,
I think she needs to rest.
yeah, she just looks like she's been dealing with the knee injuries all the time.
Minor injuries.
And it's
even
just-
during League One.
Yeah, and it was tough because obviously you have Olympics and stuff last year, but now I like kind of want her to maybe just be there for veteran presence.
Please take the summer off and just rest a little bit.
So we're gonna go by this. I'm not gonna take her. I don't think you're gonna take her just because we want her to rest.
Yeah.
This is what we're going off of.
100%.
So we're picking the other setters out there. You know what? I'm gonna take her sister. I'm gonna take Avery
Oh my
Skinner.
god, I wanted to take them together.
Give me the outside.
All right, that's a good pick. Pain.
All right, and then I get my other pick here.
You get your other pick.
I'm
I
gonna-
can't believe it.
Let me lock down my setter. I'll get Jenna Gray then.
That's a good pick as well. She's been really good. She was just playing in the Brazilian league, so that's a tough loss for me. But it's time for me to move on to my picks. Oh man, my fun roster.
I'm ruining the party.
Yep. But we're gonna keep moving on with the fun roster. At my libero, I'm taking Lexi Rodriguez.
We obviously saw what she did during the college season, so damn, she's really good too, man.
I think especially because she didn't play too much during the League One season. She wasn't libero ever. This is where I kind of want to see how she can stack up against international
For
competition.
sure,
Like
it'd
that.
be so exciting to see her play.
Yeah.
And hey, man, she got to learn. She got to take a full season and learn from Justine Wong-Rantes.
Yeah. So
I feel like there's anyone you want to learn from and be in the gym with, it's her. So
the improvement might be crazy already. So we'll see.
yeah, that'll be so crazy.
For my next pick, I'm gonna take Dana Retke in the middle.
Yeah,
Let's go with the fun team.
that's got to be. Oh man, I like
mean-
that pick.
Yeah, I just want to see how she is stacking up right now against the big international competition. I know she's been playing in Italy, but I just want to see how she can do as a main piece for this USA team.
Yeah, you know, there's still another outside that's played international ball for the national team. I'll take Ali Franti.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like that makes a lot of sense here.
she's been there. She's done that. We know she can do it. She's going to be very good.
This is tough because the middles are all really good. They're all really good. Obviously, Dana Recchi was already on the Olympic team.
And she's the tallest for sure.
Yeah. You know, I like the campaign that Amber Igidi had. I'm going to take Amber Igidi.
Very good pick. This is where things get interesting. This is where I could really go off the rails.
Okay.
Like, it may be time for me to cook.
Okay. I feel like I know what you're going to say.
I don't think you know what I'm going to say.
Oh, okay.
So let's preface my pick. So
That's how you know he's going to say something stupid.
So obviously this season for League One, we saw Madison Skinner. We saw her playing right side. I want to
Okay.
keep her at outside.
Okay.
I want to see how she can play at the international level. I think she can do it.
Okay.
I think, especially because these seasons don't matter too much. I think she can do it. I want to see Maddie Skinner playing at the international level, but I also want to see Olivia Babcock play at the international level. I'm taking her for my true right side.
Wow. What year is she again?
I think she was just a sophomore.
That is insane. I mean, it's awesome that she's on the roster already.
Yeah.
But
Young player moving up.
Wow.
But
okay.
Yeah, you know I'm cooking right now.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I kind of thought that you were going to take... I thought Maddie Skinner was going to play as your right side, but okay.
Yeah, I saw you didn't take Olivia Babcock yet. I was like, she's going to be so fun on this roster. Let's just take her. I'm going firepower. I guess our only real contested position left is the middles.
Yeah.
I want to take like another young middle, but no one's like young, you know?
I mean, they're all similar-ish age.
Yeah, but
I feel like...
yeah. I mean,
a lot of them actually were on the same teams. So, I mean, let's be real when we're looking at it.
I mean, if you're looking at my roster, I have a bunch of fresh graduates and a still current college player.
Oh, true.
I wanted to keep it all young, but I don't think I can anymore. So
got like 3 Texas middles here.
Yeah, that part's a little weird.
You're trying to pick the youngest VNL roster ever?
Well, I'm just like, yeah, like I want to see the young people play. All right, and then for my final middle, I think she had a great season in League One. I'm going to take Tia Jimerson. Big fan. I think the way she showed out during League One, she deserves a chance to show what she's got on the national team level play.
Yeah, so I'll follow that with my other middle. I feel like, one of the other really good League One players, and this is where I kind of had a tough call. Asia O'Neal has already been there, but I feel like Molly McCage, they were on the same team, and Molly McCage had a really, really good season. So I want to take Molly McCage.
I mean, she showed out. The blocking presence was crazy.
I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point who I take. So I'm going to take Danielle Catino as my opposite. She was, again, just another really good player. I mean, she's more of like a veteran presence, but she's been
with the
when she
USA
filled
team
in
before.
when she filled in for on the right side for Atlanta, I mean, she was amazing. So gotta go Danielle Catino there.
Let's start off with my setter. I'm going to take Rachel Fairbanks. She played really well during the League One season, and she already has the connection with Olivia Babcock. I think she's perfect. Another young player that I would love to see play at the international level.
Yeah, I mean, she would be so exciting.
Yep.
Seeing her play at VNL, that'd be amazing.
And then now for my last outside, I'm going to go with, again, another young player. We're going Sarah Franklin. I also want to see how she matches up at the international national team level. So I picked my team wanting to see who could play at national team level.
I mean, you got National Player of the Years over there.
Yeah,
for
we
college.
stacked them up.
All right, and then to round out my roster, gotta go with Morgan Hens. I mean, she's been so solid in the PVF and Athletes Unlimited, so
Best libero in both.
Yeah, it'll be so exciting to see her play on the national team again. So
Yeah.
got a lot of national team presence and experience on my team, but your team is the
youth,
the young up and coming.
Yeah, I got the true rising stars. If they'll end up like that.
Yeah, and I ended up getting more of the experience on my team.
So I picked a really young team. Obviously, I don't know if everyone will make it on the same weeks.
Right, yeah.
Because that would be crazy, but it would be so fun to see my roster. But let's review them. I'll read over mine first. So for my setter, I had Rachel Fairbanks. For my 2 outsides, I have Maddie Skinner and Sarah Franklin. My right side is Olivia Babcock. My 2 middles are Dana Retke and Tia Jimerson, so the more experienced players on my team. And then my libero, we have Lexi Rodriguez.
This guy's going for social media to back him up, man.
Let's go. Let's make it happen, guys.
This guy actually got all the most popular players. All right. Well, people are really locked in. They know that my team is going to be really good here. I got Jenna Gray as my setter. I got Avery Skinner and Allie Franti as my outsides. a lot of experience there, obviously
good.
on the national team already. Danielle Coutinho also have a lot of national team presence and experience as my right side. Amber Igidi and Molly McCage as my middles. And then Morgan Hens rounding it out as my lip.
Yep, very experienced there. Probably the best, the players playing at the highest levels, honestly. So very good team from you. And I think a very fun team from me.
This would be honestly like a really fun scrimmage. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch this.
I mean, they're probably going to happen this summer
Yeah.
behind closed doors, unfortunately. But
They probably might start that now.
Yeah.
They might be starting now.
they might be doing it right now. But also, who knows if either of these teams will make it into the VNL. If we see either of these rosters
Oh my God.
legitimately show up in the VNL and play, we're bringing this video back up. You're going to see it again.
We need everyone to follow.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to hit the follow if we hit these right.
Yeah, you're going to see this.
Oh my God, that'd be crazy.
But now let's move on to the next segment where NCAA for the women's has started playing a couple scrimmage matches for the spring, like the spring games, testing out their rosters. A lot of young players have made their way to their teams already, leaving high school early. Let's talk about the biggest team. Who do you think is the starting 7 for the Nebraska team right now?
Okay, so this is big just because, you know, they didn't end up winning the championship last year, but again, everyone, this is like the nation's team pretty much for college volleyball.
Most popular team?
Yeah. So obviously, I'll say the easy ones. I feel like for the setter, Bergen Riley, I think there's no question about it. I feel like Campbell has been really amazing in the little bit of playing time that she's gotten. Like, I think she played that second game there, and she was amazing. But obviously, Bergen Riley is going to be playing. Obviously, Harper Murray it's going to be really exciting to see what she does. She's just been getting better and better.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see how she's going to do.
National Player of the Year?
Hey, maybe.
We'll see.
And then for the middles, I feel like this is the last one that's locked down for me. I think it's obviously going to be Andy Jackson and then Rebecca Alec. I feel like those are going to be... They've been there. They were amazing last year. I think those are just going to be staples.
Probably the best middle core in the NCAA.
Yeah. And then, so here's the other outside. This one, I would probably just say Taylor Landfair just for now, just because of the experience. She's already been with the program. But then you also have Taraya Sigler. I feel like she was really good, highly touted as a freshman. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sigler starts for the season. But I think Taylor Landfair, you're going to look for her to be subbed in maybe as like that super sub and like be really big for them.
Yeah, so both will probably play.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, maybe Sigler is going to take that starting spot for now, honestly. I think that's might how it goes. The right side. Okay, this is the one where there was the whole news was coming out about Virginia Adriano, right, from Italy. She obviously has all the experience in the world, but she's actually already 21.
Yep.
So there's the whole thing about, you know, where they're going to classify her at. You know, is she going to be a freshman still or not? I don't know.
That'd be a little weird.
But I think if she's like, and again, this is all still like kind of speculation. They didn't really say that that she's on the team already. I don't think it was like completely announced yet. But assuming that she's going to be there, I would put her obviously as the right side for the team. I think she's like the perfect veteran presence, even though she hasn't been there.
But she's played at the highest level.
But she's gonna come in and she's gonna be amazing.
She's played A1 Italy.
Yeah.
So.
And then if not, then I think you can very easily see Ali Czech go in just because of she was the transfer. She came in from Baylor. She's a veteran presence. I feel like Ryan Hunter was really good in her freshman campaign, kind of like in these spring games, but I feel like the transfer, the experience, and then obviously Adriano coming in, she's probably going to take that spot.
Yeah.
And then this is the last one. This is the one that's kind of crazy.
This is all the debate. All of the debate.
Is the libero spot. This is the tough one because, you know, Lexi was so good. She was starting as a freshman. Now what happens when she's gone? I feel like everyone immediately thought of Lainey Choboy. I think, to me, I would pick Lainey Choboy. I think she's been amazing. And I think she could fit that role easiest. But I think you definitely had to consider Olivia Malk. I mean, right, being a sophomore, she was the walk-on. She was so good. She was playing in big-time games still. And then there's still Macy Bosiger, who's still really, really good. But if you ask me, I'm going to put Lainey Choboy as that lib right there.
I think she feels like a very leader presence on the team,
For
very
sure.
outspoken. I think it wouldn't be crazy to just let her stay on that team.
Yeah, Coach DBK doesn't really want to do the 2 libero system. I think she's more preferring doing 1 lib. She did say that she would be open to it, but it did sound like she was going to want to rock with 1 libero. So I'm going to pick Lainey Choboy here, but Olivia Malk, Macy Bosiger definitely have a really good shot at it as well.
Yeah.
It could be that type of situation where they kind of just, it's game by game.
Yeah, I think definitely
At least in the
start
beginning.
off,
In the beginning, it might be like that, but I got Lainey Choboy.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
It's going to be an amazing starting 7, though. It's going to be really good, so we'll have to see how Nebraska shapes out going forward. I feel like it's in August already.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
coming
first
up.
couple games, so it's coming fast.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the starting 7? Do you agree with him? But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
So next we're just going to talk about more of NCAA for men's again. Obviously, celebrate that Long Beach won the national championship here, so
Yep.
we got a fun little comparison here that we can talk about. How does this NCAA champion Long Beach roster compare to other years? So first, I want to get a little fun here. What about just last year's champions in 2024? UCLA.
Ooh. Okay.
Slightly different team, but
Yeah.
so this is kind of tough. So I kind of only picked 3 teams here, and I picked particular years, but it's kind of difficult because these teams, like you'll see, but I picked 2024 UCLA, but they also won it in 2023.
Yeah.
But the teams are slightly different when you look at them. So
All right. So for the UCLA team last year, the big things would be Ethan Champlin is in at the outside, and then they don't have Cam Thorne. So
no Cam Thorne, still in GCU there.
yeah, everyone else is a little bit younger. That's very interesting, actually. But I mean, I think when Long Beach already beat the older version of some of these players, the more experienced version of some of these players, I'm gonna take this year's Long Beach.
Whew. And 2023, it's similar roster. There's a little bit of differences there, but
Yeah.
we'll kind of clump them together a little bit here.
Yeah.
Okay, so next for you, I picked out actually the 2021 champions. That's Hawaii. That's their first year. That's their first year in that repeat.
Ooh.
So, and that was the team that 3-0'd BYU.
Oh boy, this is another good roster.
This is also a team, I think Gage was still a libero. That was his last year there.
Yeah, it was. So this Hawaii team with Colton Cowell, Rado Parapunov, Jakob Tele. Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
it's
a good team.
It's a really good team.
Gassman, Chaz Galloway, and Gage.
Yeah.
Dang, this is a good team. This is a really good team. This is their, you said 21, so it's the first year.
This is the
of
first
repeat.
year of the repeat.
Okay. Wow. This Hawaii team is good.
It's a really good Hawaii
Really
team.
good Hawaii team.
But is like Varga and maybe Nato Dickinson, is that enough over Parapunov?
Yeah.
Chaz
no,
Galloway.
That's... Oh, man.
The middles too. I mean, you got to put in Gassman. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's Dieris, but then there's a lot.
I think this one would probably go 5 sets. I think it would also get very, very heated. I think we'd hear a lot of trash talk in this one. But this one, I'm going to give it to Hawaii in 5 sets.
Woo!
This team,
Upset the national champions of right now, Long Beach.
I think it's just knowing, maybe I'm a little biased knowing how these players have turned out now, seeing how good they're doing internationally.
Yeah.
It's a little bit extra biased, but I'll take them in 5.
Okay, and then the last team that we have here is actually a little home matchup we got going on.
Oh, no.
I got the 2019 version of Long Beach, where they beat Hawaii in 4. This is the second year of their repeat. They had TJ DeFalco. He was most outstanding player. He was National Player of the Year. Then you have Josh Truniga, won it the year before. And then you got Kyle Insing as well. 3 national players from America.
Oh, man. Oh, those 3 together,
And that's not even to mention the rest of the roster.
Yeah, that's, oh my God, that's the unstoppable trio right there. Long Beach versus Long Beach. There's no home court advantage.
They're playing in the pyramid.
Oh, this is the toughest one yet.
Yeah.
Because
I say this one for last for a reason.
this is a good one, but I feel like the trio of TJ DeFalco, Kyle Insing, and Josh Tuaniga, I feel like that trio will be too much. It's probably the best trio in NCAA history. I'm gonna pick the 2019 Long Beach to beat the 2025 Long Beach.
Yeah. That's a crazy one. I mean, they had Nick Amato.
Yeah.
You still had
Simon Anderson was there.
Yeah,
Ethan
Jordan Molina.
Siegfried. Yeah.
Jordan Molina was still the lib over there. It's a crazy team.
Yeah. No. This is a crazy matchup.
And this is their experience showing too,
Yeah.
right? This is the older version of these guys.
If this Long Beach team comes back, maybe we'll have an even better matchup for next year to compare. That was a good one.
Yeah, so that does it for comparing this 2025 National Championship Long Beach roster. Who do you think would have won in these matchups?
Very interesting.
Yeah, all really, really good teams.
Let's move on to the next one. This one, I think we're just going to talk about and give our ranking for the best plays in both the NCAA finals and the PVF finals, because things went a little bit crazy in both matches. So let's kick it off with the NCAA. Probably a lot of more clip farming type things.
So this is us just talking about the finals here. Here are our top 5 plays from the NCAA finals. So at first, for number 5, we have Rama's Kong block.
Yeah.
This was amazing. I feel like this
Yeah.
was something to get the energy back going for UCLA. But I mean, one-hander, it was straight down. It was crazy.
When it happened, I was like, oh my God, UCLA's back.
yeah.
We're back.
You thought the energy, the tide would turn a little bit for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, we saw it happen.
But then at number 4, we have Moni's cut ace. Then he comes out there and he just cuts the ball, breaks everyone's ankles. No one was expecting it.
No, that was that was the craziest ankle breaker I've ever seen in volleyball.
Yeah.
Like the UCLA receiver could not move.
Yeah, the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, and then number 3 was to end that second set where this all happened. We have the final point from the second set when when Moni saved it with a one-hand set to Dieris.
Yeah, basically got him no block.
Yeah, open net.
Maybe like half a block at most. And Dieris just bounced the ball. That was, oh my God. The hype after that play was crazy.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Long Beach kind of shut it down.
That was an exclamation point
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and it kind of shows like the crazy range that Moni would have where it feels like no one's supposed to be getting that ball.
Yeah.
And then at number two, we got Moni's back-to-back aces to get the lead. This was after he got one ace. They called the timeout. He comes out, rips another ball. No one can receive it. They call the other timeout.
Yeah, this was the biggest momentum swing in the game because UCLA had the lead. It was going into crunch time. It was going into the red zone. And then Moni went, this is my time to show up. And he showed up.
Shout out Nekaba. He definitely created like the craziest edit from that.
God, it was nasty.
Saying no one can receive my serve.
Yeah.
And then cut to him absolutely bombing two balls.
Disgusting.
And then at number one, nothing can beat it. The championship point and the final point of the match, where Nato Dickinson got a really good serve off, overpass from Cooper Robinson, and Moni Nikolov says, game time, it's over, give me that.
Bounces the ball on them. That was an actual exclamation point on the game, on the season.
Yeah.
And it was like just a perfect encapsulation of everything Long Beach has done this season. Moni getting the last kill is just...
Yeah.
It just writes itself.
Yeah, man. If there were script writers in NCAA men's volleyball, this might have been the best one yet.
Yeah, this was anime, basically.
This is the best one yet.
Yeah.
You had UCLA trying to go for a three-peat, and then Long Beach with Moni shutting that down. So those are our best plays from NCAA finals. What did you guys think?
Did we miss anything? Oh, there was a lot of clip farming going on in that game.
There was a lot of crazy clips from that.
Yeah. But now it's time to move on to the PVF. And yeah, let's talk about all these plays. The finals were also crazy for the PVF. Here are our top 5 plays for the PVF finals. At number 5, we have Shampoo with the beautiful side set on a tight ball, setting up Brittany Abercrombie for a tool kill right off the block.
Yeah, I mean, this just showing how good she's been the whole year, and then Abercrombie putting it away.
Yeah, the connection between those two is actually insane. The way they built it up over this season, it's crazy, and I feel like it kind of encapsulates itself in this play.
Yeah. Two of their best players really showing off.
At number 4, we had Elena Scott perfectly digging a Brittany Abercrombie swing from the back row. It was basically open net. She digs it. Then Sydney Hilly sets up a perfect ball for Azani Teeler, who gets the kill.
This is the stuff that gets me fired up, man. When the liberos put on that hard hat and they say, nah, I got this. With the dig, I love it from Elena Scott. And then obviously you got to win that point.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically like a perfect pass.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, she's crazy. Not on the VNL roster, though.
I know, that's
interesting.
That is something that it hurts.
Yeah.
I feel like she should have been on there.
Yeah. All right, number 3, we had Lindsay Vanderwade with the solo rejection on the slide from CC Crawford. Absolutely shut it down. It was an electric block. The crowd went crazy.
This kind of like shows what happened in the finals pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just Indy, they were passing really well and then just could not get past the defense.
Yeah, it was crazy. But to get them back later on, for number 2, Sydney Hilly set a one-handed back set to CC Crawford again for a slide bounce kill. Got him right back with it. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's just amazing that now they said, no, let's go back to it. It's fine. We're good. And then that was just, the exclamation point on that. Mm-hmm. Saying, no, we're still in this. We're still going to fight.
Yep. And then at number 1, we have Shampoo running to back set, a little bit of a misplayed pass on the receive, setting up Brittany Abercrombie, who gets the tool off of the block for the championship point, and then Orlando wins the championship.
Of course, this has to be number 1. I mean, championship point, Abercrombie's the one that scores it. You can't write it any better way.
And the set was crazy. Shampoo was literally running forward and just flicked the ball backwards.
Yeah.
Nasty set. I mean, it's probably one of their better runs of the season, and it happened. Championship point.
Yeah.
Great plays from the PVF finals. If you haven't watched it yet, it's probably up on YouTube somewhere. Go watch it. It's super fun. High level. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, really good energy.
Yep. So that does it for our finals plays coverage. And now we're going to move on to blind rankings, where, keeping it on the playoffs still, we're blind ranking the best performances in each of these leagues' playoffs. So we're starting off with NCAA again. Can you blind rank the best 2025 NCAA men's volleyball championship performances? Let's start off with Andrew Rowan versus Hawaii in the semis. He had 34 assists, 1 kill, 2 aces. The team hit on 37% efficiency, and Andrew Rowan just had Hawaii on skates.
This one is up there, man. Oh my God.
Insane setting performance.
I want to put it at 2. I'll put it at 2.
That's very good, honestly.
That was an amazing performance from Andrew Rowan. I mean, that's actually setting up his team for success in like the most unironic way. Actually so good that he made it that much easier for his team to score. And I mean, he had a really good game. Really, really good game.
Yeah, that was the setting masterclass of just pure setting. It was too good. Let's keep it in the finals. We have Alex Kondev with 13 kills on 45% efficiency. He had 4 block assists to go along with it, and he was just Moni's go-to guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is showing that Bulgarian connection, man. Oof, this is tough. I'll put it at 3, honestly.
Okay, yeah, 3 is a very good spot.
I mean, obviously championship point, or championship match, I feel like I gotta give that like an extra boost.
Yeah,
Just because that
the
helped
pressure's
them win.
on for that.
Yeah,
for sure.
and that helped them win.
Okay, so you've taken 2 and 3 right now.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Finn Kearney versus Penn State in the quarterfinals. He had 16 kills, but he had 12.5% efficiency. He had 4 aces, 10 digs, and 3 block assists. It was low efficiency, but he was the go-to guy for Hawaii. He helped ensure that they moved on.
This was big time for Hawaii too. Wow, man.
The only knock would be that efficiency.
I know that's kind of the problem here.
Yeah.
I'll put it at 4. I feel like Finn Kearney, it was a really good game for him, and efficiency wasn't there, but I mean it was big time. They needed pretty much every single point and every single swing that they were getting from him. Yeah, I'll rock with that. I'll rock with that.
All right. Yeah, I guess the efficiency didn't drag him too much down.
Yeah.
Okay. Then your next performance, your next stat line is Moni in the finals. He had 6 kills, 4 aces in the clutchest moment, 2 block assists. He had 27 assists, and the team hit for 35.4% efficiency.
I feel like this isn't even glazing at this point. I mean, you saw everything that he did this whole season, man. This has to be number 1.
Yeah?
I mean, he scored 10 points, or it might be 11 points for his team as the setter.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane. And then, obviously, that doesn't include any of his defense or his actual setting. So, this has got to be number 1. Obviously, he was the go-to guy, even though he's the setter, but he was the man for Long Beach to win this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, even I think just the aces really just puts him on top there.
Yeah.
Because those were some of the most clutch aces I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and that leaves you with number 5, I believe. And at number 5, you have Ryan Barnett's performance in the quarterfinals versus Loyola Chicago. He had 17 kills on 29.7% efficiency. He had 1 ace. He had 5 block assists. He had 5 digs. And he showed up when they needed to put Loyola away.
Yeah, wow. Oh, man, this is tough. That's so bad. I feel like maybe Finn Kearney goes down just because Ryan Barnett had such a crazy game for them to beat Loyola.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, these were all just so good.
These were some of the top performances.
Man.
Did he get this ranking right? How would you guys have done it? And now we can move on to our final blind ranking of the day.
All right. So what we got here is actually how we did PVF. We actually did it. The way that I did it was that I did all of the playoffs. So it was the semifinals and the finals. So there were
two rounds.
Yeah. So it allowed for more performances to be there. Okay. And I also made 6. I put 6 in here just to kind of shout out all the really good games that people had.
So there's 6. That's important for me.
There's 6.
Okay, there's 6.
There honestly could have been more. It's just there were so many really good games played.
Yeah.
I need you to blind rank these PVF playoff performances. So first, I have Micaiah White. This was in the semifinals against Orlando.
Okay.
So this was in a loss for the Vibe, but she had 20 kills. She had 38.6% efficiency. She had 2 blocks, 7 digs, and that totaled to 22 points. She definitely showed up, definitely for Atlanta Vibe, when Leah Edmond had an okay game, but usually you would hope for a little bit more just because how good Leah Edmond has been.
Okay, wow. This one's tough because that's actually an insane performance. It's just on the loss, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's such a good individual performance.
I'll tell you, people did lose in these.
Okay.
There were losers in this. So there's a lot of losers in this one.
I'm like trying to think of what negatives she even had in that game. Oh man, she didn't really make that many errors either. I just have to knock her a little bit for being a loser in the match. I'm gonna put her at number 4.
Okay, number 4. So still pretty safe. You still have room both ways.
I don't know if any losing player. Well, I don't know if I'm losers. I don't know if any losing player could have performed, or I don't know if any losing player performed any better than this.
Yeah. Well, to test you on that,
okay.
next we have Brooke Nunneviller. So this is also in her semifinals against Indy. She had 21 kills, 20.4% efficiency, 12 digs, 1 ace, and that was also 22 points.
I mean, it was more kills, I think.
Yeah, one more kill.
One more kill. But on worse efficiency.
Yeah.
Little...
less blocking, more defense in the back row.
Yeah. I think this one, again, it's got to be a tax for being on a losing team. I'm going to put her at number 5. Brooke Nonaviller.
Okay.
Brooke Nonaviller at number 5.
She's got a high bar because she's been so amazing.
Yeah.
So you got a high bar to set there. Yeah. Okay, then at number 3, we have, the woman herself, Brittany Abercrombie, in the finals against Indy. So we know the stat line. Everyone knows it. 27 kills, 38.7% efficiency, 3 blocks, 8 digs, and 1 ace. So that was 31 points for the total team points of 70.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say it right here. She won over a set in kills in a 4-set match. That's disgusting. She's going number 1.
Yeah. I mean, the team earning 70 points out of 75.
Yeah.
And she had almost half of them.
Yes.
Is crazy.
Yeah.
Next, we have Nina Chajic. So this was in her semifinal. This was in a win against Omaha, where she had 21 kills. It was 34.7% efficiency. She had 4 blocks, 9 digs, and that totaled to 25 points.
Oh my God. That is another stellar performance.
This is your 4th one.
Yeah. I think I've taken 1, 4, and 5 right now. I think.
Yes.
Okay. So this one's gonna win. It was a big win. I mean, she carried the most on the scoring aspect. This is a semifinal, though. I don't know if another final one's going to come out. I'll put this one at number 3.
Okay.
But great game.
Yeah.
Showed up when no one else showed up as much.
So that leaves your number 2 and number 6 open. So next we have Elena Scott. This was in her finals performance against Orlando. So this is in the losing effort, but she obviously had amazing plays in this one. She had 16 digs and 6 assists as the lid. And I feel like the numbers definitely don't do it justice on how well she played, because it's the libero.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, man. Oh, God. I can't put someone on a losing team higher than someone on a winning team. It's got to go number 6.
Number 6, Elena Scott.
Yeah, sorry. It's also, I'll say 0 points scored,
Okay, well, unfortunately for you, at number 2, you have Azani Teeler from the finals.
Frick!
It wasn't from the semifinals. From the finals, where she had 16 kills. She had 24.4% efficiency and 6 digs. Or 8 digs, sorry. And, I mean, she really tried her best. So, this is up there. But too much from Orlando here.
Yeah, not exactly the ranking I wanted. That was tough. Yeah, that was a tough one.
It's tough. There were a lot of really good players, obviously, and they had really good games.
Yeah, I was trying to hold out for a setter somewhere in there, maybe. Dang it. Yeah, not a great ranking for me, but happens.
So that was his list. How did you guys think he did? Would you put people a little bit different? And then who did we leave off? Maybe should we have put the setters in there? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players showed out. This was the playoffs, semifinals, finals, so it was tough. But that concludes all of our games this week, so that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much if you stuck around to this point. Please like, comment, subscribe. Comment, what do we think?
Comment what you guys think we should do next. Obviously, this is kind of the down period of volleyball and pro volleyball, just because, U.S. volleyball, there's not a lot going on now that college is done.
Yeah,
PVF is done.
We got weeks until the VNL still.
Yeah, still time until VNL. We have some ideas ourselves, but maybe let us know if you guys want us to do anything for coverage here.
If there's any coverage you guys want, anything you want us to talk about moving forward, let us know in the comments. And thanks so much for watching again, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.